Have you ever wondered how stress affects your health in more ways than one? Welcome to a journey that takes us through groundbreaking research, shedding light on the complex relationship between stress and metabolic syndrome. This syndrome is a cluster of conditions that, when occurring together, increase the risk of heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. Now, a team led by Jasmeet Hayes has published a comprehensive study in brain behavior and immunity, unveiling a new perspective on how stress, through its inflammatory effects, is linked to metabolic syndrome. Their focus? Individuals in the midlife stage, a critical period for determining accelerated aging. Stress, a modifiable factor, plays a significant role in various negative health outcomes as we age. By managing stress, we may improve our biological health outcomes. Intrigued? Now let's delve into the study's findings and their implications. The research involved a detailed analysis of 648 participants from a national survey. This comprehensive study was spearheaded by senior author Jasmeet Hayes and first author Savannah Jurgens, who used a unique statistical model to explore the interplay between stress, inflammation, and metabolic syndrome. Here's how it unfolded. The participants were individuals in midlife, a critical period that often determines the trajectory of health in later years. The team collected data on perceived stress, inflammation biomarkers, and physical exam results indicating metabolic syndrome risk factors. This data was then crunched through a statistical model, creating a holistic view of the relationship between these variables. Savannah Jurgens, the first author of the study, took a deep dive into the data. Her focus was on how inflammation, a response triggered by stress, fits into the complex relationship between stress and metabolic syndrome. The results were illuminating. The statistical modeling revealed that inflammation explained a whopping 61.5% of the connection between stress and metabolic syndrome. That's more than half the puzzle solved, highlighting the significant role of stress-induced inflammation in metabolic syndrome. But how was inflammation measured, you might ask? The study employed several biomarkers to calculate inflammation composite scores. These included interleukin-6, C-reactive protein, E-selectin, ICAM-1, and fibrinogen. Each of these biomarkers is like a signpost indicating the body's inflammatory response to stress. In simple terms, when our bodies are stressed, they release these biomarkers. The higher their levels, the higher the body's inflammation, and consequently, the higher the risk of developing metabolic syndrome. It's like a domino effect, with one piece setting off a chain reaction that impacts our health. In essence, the study's methodology provided a clear scientific pathway to understand how stress, through inflammation, is linked to metabolic syndrome. These biomarkers shed light on the physiological impact of stress on the body. Stress isn't just a mental health concern. This statement, though simple, carries a profound truth. Stress, chronic and unmanaged, manifests physically in our bodies, affecting our overall health in ways we might not immediately realize. Let's consider inflammation, for instance. Inflammation is the body's natural response to injury or infection. It's a protective measure, a sign that your body is working to heal itself. But what happens when this inflammation becomes chronic? Stress, specifically chronic stress, can trigger persistent inflammation, leading to a host of health problems. Picture this scenario. You're under constant stress. Your body, in response, is in a state of high alert, producing hormones like cortisol. Over time, this heightened state can lead to an overproduction of inflammatory chemicals, causing low-grade systemic inflammation. This inflammation, in turn, can contribute to the development of metabolic syndrome. But wait, what is metabolic syndrome exactly? Well, it's a cluster of conditions that occur together, increasing your risk of heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. These conditions include excess belly fat, high blood pressure, low HDL cholesterol, and high levels of fasting blood glucose and triglycerides. However, we need to remember that stress isn't the sole contributor to metabolic syndrome. A variety of other factors play a part. Unhealthy eating habits, a sedentary lifestyle, smoking, and poor sleep hygiene can all contribute. Socioeconomic status, age, and gender also come into play. For instance, a diet high in processed foods and sugars can lead to obesity and high blood pressure, both of which are components of metabolic syndrome. Lack of physical activity can result in increased belly fat and low HDL cholesterol. Smoking can cause inflammation and insulin resistance. Poor sleep, often linked to stress, can result in hormonal imbalances contributing to weight gain and high blood sugar levels. So we see that stress, through its inflammatory effects, intertwines with various lifestyle and genetic factors, forming a complex, multifaceted picture of metabolic syndrome. understanding how to lower the risk becomes paramount. By addressing stress and its physical manifestations, alongside other contributors to metabolic syndrome, we can take crucial steps towards improved health outcomes. The findings from this research have far-reaching implications. By shedding light on the intricate link between stress, inflammation, and metabolic syndrome, we are offered a fresh perspective on disease prevention and health promotion. The discovery that inflammation explains more than half of the connection between stress and metabolic syndrome is particularly noteworthy. This emphasizes the importance of managing stress and reducing inflammation, as these are modifiable factors that can be targeted for intervention. The implications of this research are all the more significant considering the prevalence of metabolic syndrome. With an estimated 1 in 3 American adults experiencing metabolic syndrome, understanding its causes becomes essential. This condition is not just a standalone issue, it's a gateway to other chronic diseases, including heart disease and diabetes. Therefore, it's not just about tackling metabolic syndrome itself, but also about preventing its potential downstream effects on health. But what does this mean for the future? Well, this research paves the way for more targeted strategies to prevent metabolic syndrome and the related health issues. It highlights the need for comprehensive approaches that consider not just physical health, but also psychological and social factors. Stress management, for instance, should be a fundamental part of health promotion strategies. This could include interventions like mindfulness-based stress reduction, cognitive behavioral therapy, or even simple lifestyle changes like regular exercise and a balanced diet. Moreover, the research opens up new avenues for future investigation. For instance, understanding more about the specific biological mechanisms that link stress to inflammation and metabolic syndrome could lead to the development of novel therapeutic approaches. We could also explore the role of other potential modifiable factors, such as sleep quality or environmental exposures. In conclusion, this groundbreaking study takes us one step closer to understanding the complex interplay between stress, inflammation, and metabolic syndrome. It highlights the need for a holistic approach to health, one that acknowledges the intertwining of our mental and physical well-being. Stay tuned for more groundbreaking research that helps us understand and combat metabolic syndrome.